Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's Word Study. The title of this study is Repent and Be Holy. It's a title that's meant to be a bit of a joke in a way because those words, repent and holy, have such ridiculous meanings in our Western culture. But after all, thanks to Abba's Otiot, it offers us a wonderful opportunity to understand the original Aramaic Hebrew meanings of those improper English words. Webster's Dictionary, 1828, the best dictionary to use, says that to repent means to feel pain, sorrow, or regret for something spoken, to change one's mind. And according to Strong's and other such resources, to repent means to sigh, breathe strongly, to be sorry, and so on. But as we'll see, these things have pretty much nothing to do with what Abba Father is saying in His Word. A really good example of repent is found in Matthew chapter 21, verse 29, and again in verse 32. But in verses 28 and 29 of Matthew chapter 21, Yeshua is telling a story about a son who disobeyed his father and later decided to repent. Now, Matthew was penned in Aramaic, and the Aramaic word there for repent is atoi, and that is spelled Aleph, Tau, Tau, Wa, Yod. Aleph, picture of the head of an ox, and it has to do with being yoked to or taught by your headship, specifically Abba Father. Tau, picture of crossed sticks, has to do with a mark or a signature. And of course, who is the Aleph and the Tau? That's Abba Father and Yeshua. Then we see Tau again, picture of crossed sticks having to do with a mark or a signature. And then we see Wa, picture of a tent peg. Pitch your tent with Elohim. A lot of times people ask, what does it mean to pitch your tent with Elohim? Pitching your tent is putting your house in order. So to pitch your tent with the Father and His Son and His indwelling Ruach, Elohim, means to always put your life in order with Him, in unison with Him, to be yoked to Him. And, picture the two oxen. They're yoked with a bar across. One has to lead, not both. And the proper one has to lead, or there's a mess going on. So to pitch your tent with Elohim means to do everything you do in your life with Him, being yoked to Him, and recognizing that you're yoked to Him and you let Him lead the way. You don't pull against Him. Then we have Yod. It's a picture of an arm and a hand. Has to do with your work, what you make, has to do with your actions, what you do. So, to repent, to atoi, means, Aleph, recognize who your headship is, to yoke yourself to Abba Father, and allow Him to lead the way instead of you going your own way and or pulling against His yoke. Tau, to remember that He has placed His mark, His signature on you, and that you are His. Wa, to pitch your tent with Elohim and not with the world. And Yod, make it so that all that you make and all that you do brings esteem to Him and to no one or nothing else. I've often said that to repent simply means to make a U-turn, to go back to the source, to go back to the beginning, Kadam. And that is exactly what we do here every week, my friends. According to most English Bibles, Yahweh says in Leviticus, "You shall be holy, for I am holy." But when you think about that idea, where does it take you? Can you be holy as Yahweh is? Holy is a very strange word, a very strange idea, and that is mostly because it's a pagan word, which comes from doctrines of demons. According to the Dictionary of Mythology, Folklore, and Symbols, in practically all languages, the word holy has been derived from sun worship. According to the Encyclopedia of Religions, Holi, H-O-L-I, is the great Hindu spring festival held in honor of Krishna as the spring sun god. Strong's Concordance refers to Hail, the sun's rays, which is almost identical to the German and Dutch words for holy, which is heilig, derived from Heli, the name of a Saxon idol. What Abba's word truly says in Leviticus 20:26 is, "And you shall be Kodesh to me, for I, Yahweh, am Kodesh, and have separated you from the peoples, that you should be mine." Now, wherever we see holy in the word, the actual word that was penned is Kodesh. You can see that in Strong's, number H6944. And Strong says that it is a sacred place or thing, a consecrated thing, dedicated, they have that one, hallowed, holiness, most holy day, portion or thing, saint, sanctuary. Except for, holy or holiness, Strong's, has pretty much got it right. Kodesh really means dedicated to one thing only. It is spelled Kuf, Dalet, Shin. Kuf, it's a picture of the sun at the horizon. Dalet is a picture of a door. Yeshua is the door. Dalet also has to do with the 4 dimensions of space and time. And then Shin, it's a picture of 2 front teeth, has to do with cutting and separating. It has to do with pressing. The narrow path, the way, is compressed, hard to find. So, to be Kodesh means Kuf, to find the narrow path, the way, and walk always towards and in the light. That is Kadam, back to the source, the east, to Abba Father, where the light rises and shines. Dalet, to walk through the door, Yeshua, from the physical to the spiritual, away from our flesh nature toward our spiritual nature. Shin, to separate ourselves from the ways of the world. Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. How do we renew our minds? By being washed by His Word. To be Kodesh is to be dedicated to Elohim and to Elohim only. Many think that to repent or to be holy means to stop sinning. And although the more we spend time pitching our tents with Elohim, the more we spend time being washed by and growing in His Word, the less we sin. However, no one in this world can ever be completely without sin. Look at 1 John chapter 1, verse 8. If anyone claims to be without sin, they deceive themselves, and the truth is not in them. Repent and be holy? No. Turn to the way. Go back to the beginning, to the source, and be Kodesh. Make yourself to be dedicated to Elohim and to nothing and no one else. Repent and be baptized. As Paul said, repent and be saved. Repent doesn't mean stop sinning, control yourself, and then, you're going to be saved. No, it means simply to turn your attention to Abba Father and to the work of his Son that he did, the only one who could defeat sin. And again, what is sin? It's not, being rotten and miserable and hateful. Sin it means missing the mark. It's not possible for any of us to be perfect. Therefore, we all sin all the time. Repent doesn't mean stop sinning. You can't stop sinning. The indwelling Ruach HaKodesh can change your ways and cause you to sin less and less and less the more you turn to him and the more you're washed by his word and so on. But, to repent merely means to turn away from the world and turn towards Abba Father and his word. And then to be holy, no, to be Kodesh, to be dedicated to him. I guess the natural tendency for most human beings is to want to be dedicated to someone or something. But the flesh nature causes us to have a tendency to want others to satisfy us in order for us to be dedicated to them. For example, two people get married, they dedicate themselves to each other until death do us part. And they're so in love. But 5 years later, you don't see all that excitement and dedication going on. Why? Because, he mistreated me, she mistreated me. It's all based on what they're getting from someone. Don't let your walk with Elohim be based on what you get from him. Just be dedicated to him and know that if he doesn't seem to be doing what you think he should do, that really you must be mistaken and he knows better. And that's our study for this week, my friends. As always, I hope and I pray that this video is a beracha to you and yours. And Abba willing, I'll see you here next week. Until then, shalom, my friends.
Now 2,000 years have gone by, it's another working day. Some would rather let it lie, but the question still remains.